Hey everybody, I'm Amitabh Metalov. It's pretty late, and I just noticed I put my camera here, and the Buddha's sitting right there. Happenstance. So I just want to talk about this video is actually called "Meditating with the Devil." I'm a little sleepy, so forgive me. I just want to share this idea that has really begun to transform my life in such a positive way and allow me to let go of thoughts and suffering and desires, because that's where we suffer. Is if you really look at it, anytime you're suffering is because you want something. Either you want something you don't have, or you want what you do have to not be there and to go away. There's always some sort of desire. The Buddha calls it tanha, so thirst, craving, dukkha. So the way we can get out of this, I called this video "Meditating with the Devil," and that might sound really like faux pas. It might sound really taboo or really weird. I don't worship the devil. But I want to share this experience I had with you a few weeks ago. I was having some challenging thoughts about myself and about others. And so I follow the Buddhist path, of course, as if you don't know, if you follow my channel. And in the Buddhist mythology, there is the Buddha who sits under the Bodhi tree to meditate to attain enlightenment, and he is assailed by Mara. And Mara is called Mara the Tempter. So Mara is always trying to distract the Buddha and tempt the Buddha away from the path towards peace. He says, "You don't need to become enlightened. I can give you all the treasures of the world and all of the most beautiful women, and you'll rule the world, and you'll have all the power of the world." And so you can say that Mara is like almost the equivalent of the Christian mythological Satan. Now, I want to let you know I don't believe Mara is a real person or a being. I mean, I could be wrong, but this is my current view. And I want to explain how I'm using this mythology to my advantage. So I was laying there in bed, and I had a couple of negative thoughts about myself and others. And I saw that this is Mara. Just like the Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree and he saw Mara and resisted Mara and saw this was illusion. This is illusion. Excuse me. I too laid there in my bed and saw these thoughts are Mara. They're not myself. They're not mine. They're not I am. They're Mara. And with great swiftness, these thoughts just disappeared. They vanished. And there are a couple of suttas where a monk or a nun or the Buddha is assailed by Mara, and Mara tempts them, tries to distract them from their concentration, from their samadhi. And then Mara is seen in the one nun, in the one I'm thinking of. She basically says, "You are seen, Mara. I know who you are," and the Mara just vanishes right there. So these thoughts just disappeared. These negative, self-deprecating thoughts about myself, negative thoughts about others, they just disappeared. They lost all their power. And since then, every time there's a phenomena, every time there's a sensation, a thought, a feeling, a desire, anything at all, even thoughts that are not negative and are not causing me to suffer, I say, "Oh wow, Mara's thinking again. Oh, Mara's upset. Mara is comparing. Mara wants. Mara has desires. Mara is angry." And I say that, and it's like I let these unwholesome thoughts be as they are. They're not self. And the Buddhist teaching, one of the core elements is the teaching of anatta, is not self. And the teaching is that the body, feeling, perceptions, mental formations or fabrications, and consciousness are not self. So sense consciousness, consciousness that arises due to the interaction with the eye sense with objects, and the consciousness arises. So he says these are not self because they're conditioned. Because in order for there to be an eye consciousness, an awareness of images, there has to be an object and there has to be the eye, and then that creates a consciousness. And so with the mind, with mental objects, with feeling, with taste, with touch, with smell, and hearing. So I've started doing this, and I've started using this idea of Mara, this mythology, to my advantage, and it's really helping. Like, it's incredible how much it's helping. So anything that arises, I give away the power. I don't have to hold it anymore. I don't have to struggle with it anymore. I can just say, this is Mara. This is Mara. And the most important thing is to realize that all conditioned happiness is also Mara. All happiness that has a cause. So if you see a beautiful person and you like them and you have some joy because of that, that's conditioned, and that's Mara. Because the other side of that is suffering. So the middle way is peace. It's just observation. Just witnessing the senses. So the Buddha calls it guarding the sense doors. So we have 6 senses. We have the 5 bodily senses, and then we have the mental sense, the mind. So the Buddha says that we should guard them and have seeing as just be seeing, and smell as just smell, taste is just taste, touch is just touch, hearing as just hearing, and the mind as just in the mind. So we're not attached to the content. We don't get attached to aromas. We don't get attached to tastes or touch or sounds. We just experience them as they are and allow them to pass. We don't cling to them, and we know that they are not ours because they're conditioned through these senses. The mind is conditioned through its experience and its conditionality as well. So if we can allow everything to be labeled as Mara and just say, this is Mara, everything I see is Mara, and the reason why it works so well is because we know, like, if you follow Christian mythology, the devil is a negative thing, and it's something that you don't even want to go near. It's like fire, right? And Mara is the same way. Mara is like the devil, and so you wouldn't want to associate with the devil. You wouldn't want to associate with someone who's going to tempt you and try to corrupt you. So Mara does this. These thoughts do this. These identifications do this. So if we actually allow ourselves to be identified and attached and find any content in the world to be endearing, then we're going to be really finding a lot of alluring qualities in them, and then we're going to chase after them, or we're going to want to push them away. So what this does is it allows you to have a metaphorical negative entity. Take them away. You can have them, Mara. You can have these thoughts. You can have these desires. They're yours. They're not mine anyways. And then what you're left with is peace. And ideally, you want to come back to a wholesome object as well. You want to feel the body, just the body, without wanting it, without grasping after it. You want to... Oh, sorry. It's really late. It's almost 1 a.m. You want to be aware of the breath. And when I say feel the body, I mean be aware of the body. You want to be aware of the breath, or have the wish of loving kindness, or sympathetic joy, or compassion. Any of the 4 sublime abodes, which are called the Brahma Viharas. They're like the godly abodes. Trying to think what the 4th one is. So compassion. Oh, metta, loving kindness. So any of these are safe objects. The breath is a safe object. If you just observe it, you just become aware of it. You just become aware of the body. Become aware of the mind and the thoughts, and let it go. I mean, the longer we hold things, the heavier they get. So the sooner we can let things go, the less we'll suffer, the more we'll feel amazing, and peaceful, and we'll be able to live in this world in a way that really allows us to contribute to our friends and family in a meaningful way, and to not become a burden on them. I was becoming a burden on my best friend even. So I'm really glad that I learned how to let this go, let things go, let my thoughts go. I've been a burden on my family in the past. All my ex-girlfriends I've been a burden on. My friends. I'm not saying I'm a bad person, but we all do this. We're a burden on each other, and unless we're absolutely free, the highest and most beneficial version of ourselves is one that's completely enlightened and free and just able to radiate love and appreciation everywhere. So that's what this will allow you to do. So smile and announce and denounce all phenomena that arise in your experience as Mara, especially the unwholesome stuff. It's okay to be with the pleasant sensations, but just realize there's a real strong allure there, and they can really hook you in just as much as the negative stuff. So I love you. Hope you've enjoyed this. I'm so sorry. I'm really tired. But I hope this makes sense to you, and I hope it benefits you in your life in some way. And you have a wonderful day, evening, or afternoon. Bye for now.